Welcome to the WingSpace Podcast, a place to take up space, a space for you to settle in, sit back, relax, and focus a little bit on health, wellness, faith, family, and this crazy thing called life.
This podcast is not a replacement for mental health treatment or professional health care. In case of crisis or emergency, please contact your local healthcare provider or dial 911.
Hey there, and welcome to the WingSpace Podcast, a place to take up space. Today we're going to be diving into the concept of gratitude and how you can engage in your own gratitude practice. So you might consider grabbing a notebook and a pen if you have something available to you. If not, certainly you can go back to it later.
Are you a yogi in Southern Maryland looking for a place to practice on Thursday mornings? Look no further than Gentle Yoga with Lori Bruce at Hope and Healing in Leonardtown. A certified yoga therapist, Lori brings over 2 decades of yoga training and teaching to her classes. Gentle Yoga with Lori is suitable for all levels. Join us in person or tune in from home, as all Thursday morning classes will be available virtually. Space is limited, so reserve your spot today at loribruceyoga.com/schedule.
So we are entering and we are kind of in the midst of a very busy hustle and bustle holiday season. And we often hear people talk about November and Thanksgiving and lots of, gratitude this and thankfulness that. And some people say, I don't even know why I should do it or what it is. So I'm going to share with you some ideas today. And remember, I said it's the hustle and bustle of a very busy season. So what I have done is I have recently written a blog about this very concept, and I am repurposing the content so that you can, if you've already read the blog, you can hear it in a different way. And I'm not trying to create new content because things are busy. We all try to enjoy the fun of the season. We have, fall sports turning into winter sports, and we have lots of activities, parades and concerts and family events and events with friends. Lots of things are going on, and we try to go to all of them. In some of our Healthy Habits podcasts, we talked about choosing the things that need to fit on the calendar. But in the midst of all of that, we sometimes just forget to look around and acknowledge what we are grateful for and the things that we can be thankful that we're blessed with. So the word gratitude comes from the Latin word gratis, which means grace and grateful. Now the word grateful means appreciative of benefits received or affording pleasure or contentment. So the things that we consider that we're thankful for and that we want to express gratitude for are things that have been given to us, that we have received, or that give us pleasure and provide contentment for us. When we show gratitude, we express that appreciation to the person who gave us the thing or to ourselves. Sometimes we just need to acknowledge and thank ourselves for allowing ourselves the time, allowing ourselves the space, allowing ourselves the cost of an item, because we have things that are tangible, right? We have food, shelter, gifts, lots of things that we can see, we can hold. And then there's other things that are not. They're intangible items. Those are the things like phone calls and time spent with friends and someone who runs an errand for you. And we sometimes forget to be grateful for all of those tangible and intangible things. We lose sight of it. Research shows us that the practice of expressing gratitude, the gratitude practice, improves your overall well-being, your overall mental health. And when we can engage in a daily practice of this, and we're gonna look at really small things you can do, it's going to increase your overall outlook on things. It's potentially going to increase your desire for exercise and movement and engaging in things because you're appreciative of all the things you have, and then you want to engage with your world. There was one study that was done by Dr. Robert A. Emmons, and he's at the University of California, Davis, and then Dr. Michael E. McCullough of the University of Miami. And what they did was they split people into 3 groups. And the first group was supposed to write down what happened that they were grateful for each week. A second group was to write down things that irritated or displeased them. And the third group was asked to write down events regardless of how they impacted them. And the study showed that over a 10-week period of time, the first group who wrote down something they were grateful for every single day, they were more optimistic and they felt better. The study also says that they even exercised more and had fewer visits to their physician than those that focused on the things that frustrated them. So improved overall health and wellness just by acknowledging what you're grateful for. Now, you might be asking yourself, what do I need to do in order to show gratitude? How do I do this? So I'm going to share with you 7 ideas that you can do in order to show gratitude. And this is where, if you have a pen and paper close by, you might want to consider grabbing it. And you can also go back to the blog on our website and take a look at these lists as well, because the list is there. So the first thing you can do is you can write thank you notes. I was scrolling through social media the other day, and someone had posted in one of the groups that I'm in, does anyone write thank you notes anymore? I guess they had gone to a wedding 6 or 8 months ago and they hadn't received a thank you note for the gift that they had given. And so there was this big long discussion about thank you notes. And as convenient as social media and technology has become, it really has impacted snail mail. It's impacted us picking up paper, writing someone a letter, sending them a note, grabbing a thank you card. And I don't know about you, but I love it when I get something in the mail that's not junk mail or a bill or something that I have to attend to, right? I love getting just a card or even a little postcard, right? It's just fun to get mail that's for us and it's special. So if you receive something from another person, consider sending them a thank you card in the mail. You might not have their mailing address. Maybe you have their work address, so maybe you send it to their work address. Maybe you send them an e-card through their email, and you can even get e-cards that you can text to someone. You can create them online and then you can send them, or just send a note that says thank you. One of the things that is really important about saying thank you, whether you're doing a verbal thank you to someone or you're writing them a letter or sending them a card, is tell them what you're thankful for and how the thing or the action that you're thankful for helped you. So instead of looking at someone, I'll give you an example, like face to face. Let's say that I had gone here at work in the kitchen and I had noticed that there was a couple of coffee cups in the sink, but I didn't have time to wash them. And when I went back, someone had washed them, and then my favorite coffee mug was available for me to use. So I would go to that person and I would say, thank you for washing the coffee mugs, because not only did I not have to do it, but when I went into the kitchen, my favorite coffee mug was available for me. So thanks. It helps people to understand the impact that they're having on you. So when you write them that letter or that note card, or send them a text, whatever it might be, say thank you for filling in the action, and then explain why it was helpful and why you appreciated it, so that they know the impact that they had on you. Now, sometimes we have to send thank you notes to ourselves, and this might sound a little silly, but I remember being in college. Actually, I did it in undergrad and grad school, and a training I did during one of my jobs after grad school, where they had us write a letter to ourselves. And each time they held on to it for a designated period of time, and then it was mailed to us. And I think the first one I received at the end of the semester. The graduate school one, I think I received right before graduation. It was, just a letter to myself of maybe what I was expecting or what I hoped to accomplish. So why not send a letter to yourself in the mail? Ask your friend, hey, drop this in the mail in like 2 weeks, or just drop it in the mail yourself and then it'll come in the mail in a couple days. I know that stamps cost 50 some cents now. Maybe they've gone up, I don't know. But maybe you're worth 50 cents to stick a stamp on it. Maybe you send yourself an email. Now, I have recently learned, thanks to the amazing mind of my clinical director, Anastasia, that you can schedule emails. I had no idea you could do this. So maybe I'm going to send myself a thank you email. Dear Jennifer, thank you for prioritizing your self-care and working out this morning. By doing that, you had more energy and you felt better throughout the day. Way to go. Thanks so much. Love, Jennifer, right? It sounds silly, but wouldn't it be so cool to get that thank you in the mail to acknowledge what you've done? Second idea, I kind of already talked about that, was to send an email or a text. So if you can't send that thank you in the mail, send it in thank you text or an email. Our mind is an amazing thing. And there's tons of research, and I'm not going to go into it, about the way that the mind works. And we've talked some in the podcast about mindset and the power of mindset and the power of positive thinking. Sometimes we just need to have a mindset of gratitude. We just need to think about that person and kind of enjoy that experience of being grateful for them. So maybe you had someone help you at the grocery store and you've really appreciated their help, but you don't know them to send them a text or an email or a card. But when you get into your car, of course you have said thank you to them. But when you get in your car, think of them and think of why you are appreciative of what they did. Kind of sending those nice thoughts into the universe and acknowledge that, because that's going to help you to feel good because you're experiencing and expressing that internal gratitude. The fourth thing that you can do is you can keep a gratitude journal. There's lots of ways to do this, and I would encourage you to consider different ways that you can do this so that you can find it a task that you can continue to do. I might tell you one way to do it, and then you're going to say, yeah, that's never going to work for me. So I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. The first thing that you can do, which is actually what I'm doing right now, is I saw a graphic online, and it was a calendar, and it had 30 days, and every day I write what I'm grateful for. So the other day it was what color am I grateful for? And that made me think of the fall and all of the colors that are associated with fall, because I absolutely love the autumn season. It brings me joy to look at the trees that are changing colors, the changing of the weather, cooler days. So I just wrote a simple sentence on my calendar, in my planner, that said, I am grateful for the colors of autumn. And then it just gave me an opportunity to spend a couple of minutes thinking those nice thoughts about the colors of autumn. It was great. So every day I have something that I'm supposed to think about, and then I just write one sentence about it, but I spend a few minutes thinking about it. The other thing that you could do is just free journal. So every day you're going to write down something that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be grand. You could be thankful for the warm cup of coffee you're drinking. You could be thankful that your child slept in and you were able to get a few minutes of extra rest. You could be thankful for they had your flavor of creamer at the grocery store. It doesn't matter how big or how small. Acknowledge your gratitude. You could also, I have a friend who does a podcast, and she recommends your 3 and 3, and one of those 3 is 3 things that you're grateful for. So every day, whether it's first thing in the morning or in the evening, I would recommend, but really any time of the day is fine, you write down 3 things you're grateful for. I'm sure that we can come up with 3 things that we're grateful for, but if that seems too big, just start with 1. It doesn't have to be big, long paragraphs. It can be sentences, it can be phrases, it can be words, but just writing it down. There's also a connection between the process of writing things down. I am old school and I still have a paper planner. I have friends that make fun of me for it, and it's okay. Because when I write things down, I remember them. I actually had someone tell me today, I sent you an email about something because I didn't see you write it down. So I know that writing things down helps me remember. And I wrote down the things that I'm grateful for, and then I can remember them. I can also go back to my planner and I can reflect on them because I've written them. The other thing that you can do is you can count your wins, which is similar to the idea of a gratitude journal, but it could also be something that was an accomplishment. So you were able to complete that walk that you have been struggling to do, that distance that you were struggling to do. You were finally able to finish that paper that you were working on. You were finally able to, complete the closet you were trying to organize. Whatever it is, it was a win. It's a check in the box and it's a win, and you want to celebrate it. It doesn't matter how big or how small. Celebrate it and acknowledge it as a win. The other thing that you can do if you are spiritual and you depend on your faith is that you can pray. You can spend time in prayer, acknowledging your appreciation and your gratitude for the blessings that you've received. And if prayer is a practice that you have, then maybe you encourage that idea in terms of acknowledging that daily practice of gratitude as something different than what you typically do. I know for me, most of the time when I pray, I thank God for what He has given me. Sometimes it's very broad, sometimes it's very specific. I ask Him for what I need, and I again thank Him for what I know He's going to do. So I kind of bookend my prayer with thanks to Him, but also gratitude for the things that I have, or the people around me that I have and the things that they do for me. Now, if you are not a person who is spiritual and uses prayer, or even if you are, you might also consider meditation. Now, meditation is one of those things that people have mixed ideas about. Some people think about meditation and they immediately think about, sitting in a quiet room with your legs crossed and your hands on your knees and you're, chanting. Well, that is a form of meditation for some people. But for other people, it can look very different. So I would encourage you to consider meditation as an opportunity to turn off the distractions, turn off the TV, silence your phone, go into a quiet place, be mindful for what you're expressing gratitude for, right? So you're going to think about that gift that you've received and really think about what that gift meant to you. You're going to think about the task that someone did for you and how it helped you and what it meant to you. And you're going to feel the feelings that come up as you're thinking about the things that you're grateful for. There may be other ways that people express gratitude, and I would love to hear your thoughts. So feel free to email me, jennifer@hopehealingtherapy.com. You can also send us DMs. Feel free to tag us on social media if you are engaging in a gratitude practice. Feel free to tag us. We would love to see it. And I just want to say that I am very thankful for you as a listener, as a viewer, for watching this podcast. It gives me great joy when people say to me, I listened to your podcast, or that was a great podcast, or thanks for putting out your podcast, because I want to make sure that I'm giving people the content that they need, and when I get that feedback, it keeps me going. So thank you for listening, thank you for sharing, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great day.